You're on to NTA Nationwide News on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. Good afternoon. My name is Femi Johnson, and thanks for joining us. The Federal High Court in Abuja has struck out a case contesting the eligibility of President Muhammadu Buhari based on his school certificate. This follows the discontinuance of the case by the plaintiff, Nnamdi Wokocha. Correspondent Femi Okewo reports.
The battery of cameramen one sees here reminds one of the scene that happened here just about a year ago, soon after President Muhammadu Buhari became president. A number of cases were instituted to contest his eligibility as president. One of them was about his certificate, which analysts at that time said was more of a political case than of a constitutional contest. Now that case has been struck out, not because the court could not hear it, but because the plaintiff would no more pursue the case. He filed a notice of discontinuance before Justice Adeni Ademola, and in line with the rules of the court, the judge had to respect his will and therefore struck out the case.
The notice of discontinuance was filed by the plaintiff himself, and I wouldn't know the reason he filed the said notice of discontinuance. There are reasons best known to him personally. But in all, what I have to say is that there must be an end to litigation.
It is not clear how many more such cases are lingering in the records of the court, which their owners have abandoned. But for this, some observers say it is good riddance, since it has not added anything to our laws. In Abuja, Femi Okewo, NTA News.
In another development, following the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja on Tuesday, which annulled the election of Abia State Governor Okezie Ikpeazu, and the subsequent order to Independent National Electoral Commission to immediately issue a certificate of return to Samson Oga of the People's Democratic Party, who contested the governorship primary ticket with Okezie Ikpeazu. The INEC Federal Commissioner representing Southeast, Ambassador Lawrence Uruku, has presented INEC's certificate of return to Samson Oga of the People's Democratic Party. It will be recalled that on the 26th of February 2016, Ikpeazu won the Supreme Court judgment against Abia candidate Alex Oti. Meanwhile, former governor of Adamawa State and Speaker State House of Assembly, Amadu Umaru Fintiri, has been remanded in prison by the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja after being arraigned before the court on a 5-count charge bordering on money laundering and other offenses. Aliu Tukur has more.
The former governor and speaker Adamawa State Assembly pleaded not guilty to all the 5 counts. Fintiri is alleged to have laundered 970 million naira and over $4 million, where he used 250 million naira to purchase a landed property in Abuja. Prosecution counsel Asolari urged the court to fix a date for the commencement of the trial, but this was countered by the defense counsel Mahmoud Magaji, who moved a bail application. After hearing the bail application, the presiding judge, Justice Ahmad Ramat Muhammad, ordered that the defendant be remanded in prison pending the ruling on the bail application, which is expected on Friday, the 1st of July. Meanwhile, former governor of Imo State, Ikedio Hakim, has been ordered to enter his defense in the corruption case he is facing at the Federal High Court in Abuja. Ruling on the no-case submission made by his counsel, Chris Uche, Justice Adeni Ademola said a prima facie case has been made to warrant the former governor entering his defense. Former Imo State Governor Ikedio Hakim is standing trial on a 3-count charge of corruption and money laundering. In Abuja, Aliu Tukur, NTA News.
Still on politics and judiciary matters, factional national chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Senator Alimadu Sharif, has dismissed reports in some sections of the media of his removal by an Abuja High Court. A statement signed by the Special Advisor Media and Publicity to the factional national chairman, Inu Abala, described the publication as false and an attempt by desperate politicians seeking to take over the leadership of the People's Democratic Party through the back door. The statement adds that Alimadu Sharif was not a party in the reported suit, neither was his name mentioned anywhere in the ruling. It also explained that the court merely voided the processes leading to the amendment of the People's Democratic Party constitution in 2014, while Sheriff emergence was covered by the provisions of the amendment of that same constitution of 2012. We are not yet done with People's Democratic Party matters, as the leadership tussles within the People's Democratic Party (PDP) has continued to generate tension within the ranks of the party, as loyalists from each faction accuse the other of anti-party activities. NTA News and Current Affairs program, Good Morning Nigeria, today focused on some recent developments in the party. The program had representatives from opposing sides within the party and political commentators as guests.
And all the major organs of the party to come together and call itself together and see in what ways it can do a give and take process, so that at the end of the day they can have genuine party primary elections in Ondo and in Edo State.
So there is nowhere in the constitution of our party that says that in case of these problems that you should put a caretaker in place. So Sheriff remains the national chairman of the party.
It is a total misconception when you said there is no place where there is a caretaker committee. Of course, caretaker committee may not be named, but the PDP convention, national convention, in all its amplitude, has all the powers. It has a power to appoint whatever committee it deems fit to take into any assignment is there.
Looking ahead at 2019, and this is all tussle for leadership and power, and really that will affect how PDP comes out in 2019. And of course, whether you like it or not, you must have to understand that it might rebrand itself, a new party might emerge, and most likely some of the disgruntled elements in APC and PDP might likely by the end of the day come up with another mega party that can play out very well.
The guests all agreed that the internal crisis within the party could hamper vibrant opposition. The death has been announced of former High Commissioner to Canada and one-time Minister of Transport, Ujo Madwekwe. The diplomat, who also served as Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs, died on Wednesday in Abuja at the age of 71. In this report, Joy Osiagu takes a look at the charismatic diplomat and his giant strides while in Canada as an ambassador.
I'm preparing the next story for New York Times. The lesson is that if we could kick Ebola in no distant time, we shall also kick and indeed destroy Boko Haram.
Canadians described him as the quintessential Nigerian diplomat, proud of the nation Nigeria. Nigeria's former High Commissioner to Canada, Ujo Madwekwe, had a strong belief in the potency of citizen diplomacy. It was the passion to defend and project Nigeria's integrity to the rest of the world that informed the adoption of citizen diplomacy under his tenure as Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs in 2007. Citizen diplomacy was his mantra while serving in Canada. Under his watch, Canada hosted a high-level trade investment mission from Nigeria led by the then Vice President, cabinet ministers, governors, and 25 chief executive officers representing some of Africa's most successful businesses. Agreements were signed with Canadian investors with a focus on infrastructure projects to empower mostly Nigeria's young population. Shortly after the conference, both countries began and completed the Foreign Investment Promotion and Protection Agreement (FIPA), signed in April 2013 in Abuja to protect investors' investment in Canada and Nigeria. He was a Nigerian politician who was more interested in the survival of democracy. That was his message to the Canadian Parliament after his party lost to the opposition APC in 2015.
One can also venture to say that the litmus test for democratic arrival is the perception that a ruling party can theoretically preside over its own defeat.
In his last interview in Canada, he spoke passionately about the need to fight corruption in Nigeria.
We are not in public service to line up our pockets. If anybody is not comfortable with his salary as a minister, then resign and go into the private sector. But as long as you agree to serve the nation in any capacity, minister, high ambassador, high commissioner, or whatever, serve 24/7. Even doing private business is against the code of conduct.
In Ontario, Canada, Joy Usiago, NTA News.
Thank you, Joy. Traditional rulers in the country have been urged to support the Feed Nigeria project of the present administration by effectively mobilizing their subjects to embrace farming. President Muhammadu Buhari made the appeal on Wednesday night at the presidential villa while hosting the royal fathers from across the country to the breaking of Ramadan fast. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
A call to prayer at sunset marking the end of another day-long Ramadan fast, and President Muhammadu Buhari joined the royal fathers to formally resume eating and drinking in line with the teachings of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Prayers, Thanksgiving and mealtime over, President Buhari thanked the traditional rulers for their contributions to the nation's peace enterprise, as well as mobilizing support for policies and programs of government. Such mobilization of the citizenry, he said, is needed now more than ever in the task of achieving food security in the country.
I am asking you for our own survival as a nation state, at all the venues you have, traditional and religious, to keep on telling our people, whoever has a piece of land, please let him attempt to cultivate it, even if he's going to cultivate what he will himself eat and his family. This is a very, very serious representation I brought to you. We must, in 3 years' time at most, be able to feed ourselves and if necessary export. Of course, I have been speaking to the governor of Central Bank, the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, to please make sure that any land that can be cultivated, let it be cultivated.
The president assured the royal fathers of his administration's commitment towards securing the country and effectively managing it for a better future. Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Sa'ad Abubakar, who spoke on behalf of the royal fathers, appreciated the challenges inherited by the Buhari administration, saying, however, that significant measures have been taken towards rebuilding the country. He said as custodians of the people's culture and tradition, the traditional rulers are encouraged and therefore committed to charting a pragmatic course for national stability and development.
We promise on behalf of this distinguished council to continue to support Mr. President in his drive to instill sanity in our polity, in his drive to see development in our country, in his drive to leave a legacy which our children and our children's children will have a cause to say, yes, I'm proud to be a Nigerian wherever they find themselves. With those trying to bring disturbances and whatever, inshallah, they will fail, and they will fail woefully.
The royal fathers also promised continuous prayers for God's guidance in the nation's affairs. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
The application of genetically modified organism, GMO, in the production chain is not harmful to the health or the environment. Rather, it revives the ailing textile industry sector as well as food sufficiency for Nigeria. Director General of the National Biosafety Management Agency, Rufus Obegweb, made this known during a sensitization workshop held in Abuja. Let's join Meo Gidi for details.
For Nigeria to achieve self-sufficiency in food production, the application of genetically modified organisms is key, as being done in other Western countries, bearing in mind the safety measures that need to be taken while applying. Experts in the biosafety and biotechnology sector agree that the negative perception being created in the application of genetically modified organisms is just a trade war between those in the pesticide industry and that of the genetically modified organism.
Let me allay your fears. All the genetically modified organisms released so far globally, none has been found to cause cancer or cause any harm to environment or human health. These have been attested to by the World Health Organization, Food and Agricultural Organization, and also other authorities globally.
The experts are of the view that if Nigeria fails to take advantage of genetically modified organism technology, it may pay dearly for it in the near future. In Abuja, Mie Ogidi, NTA News.
And over the years, rural farmers in Niger State have been facing the challenge of poor access roads to their transport and to transport their produce to urban centers. The situation is, however, changing for the better following massive opening of feeder roads by the Niger State Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, IFAD-assisted value chain program. Rose GR reports that the visit of a monitoring team to the state attracted commendation over target engagement.
Roads include the Bida-Batavovoginda-Kama Road, which hitherto was impassable, and movement of the agricultural produce for marketing was a Herculean task. Similarly, part of the 30-kilometer Kundu-Akare Road is currently undergoing construction under the IFAD value chain program. They have both reached 21% completion level.
We have to partner with the local government to form local government rural road maintenance committee.
The visit of the program monitoring team to the rice and cassava farmer groups was received with joy. It was essentially to ensure compliance with the rules of engagement, best practices, and ascertain the level of involvement of women and youth who are the target, with a view to achieving the goal of reducing households below the poverty line and number of people undernourished. Rice farmers who hitherto harvest an average of 1.7 to 3 metric tons per hectare today smile to the bank as they now get close to 5 metric tons of rice paddy per hectare in 3 cycles per year.
In me particular and my youth mates, we embrace farming as a very, very tangible business.
And we are very satisfied to see how many youth were involved in developing the rice and cassava value chain.
The federal government IFAD value chain intervention in Niger State, which commenced 2 years ago, is boosting food security and creating employment opportunities. Rose Gia, NTA News.
And our first stop on Nationwide today is Lagos. Let's now join Jennifer from our Lagos Network Center for more stories. Hello, Jennifer, it's over to you.
Thank you, Femi. Good evening and welcome to Lagos. The Director General of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, Dr. Dakuku Peterside, has unveiled a strategic plan of action to restructure, reform, and reposition the agency for proficiency, profitability, and global competitiveness. He made this known at a media parley in Lagos. Jane Ojuku has the report.
The new Director General of NIMASA, Dr. Peterside, acknowledged that he came on board when the agency's reputation was at its lowest, which is why the system needs total transformation in order for NIMASA to align with President Muhammadu Buhari's change agenda, particularly in the area of efficiency, transparency, and accountability. He listed his key strategies to include full digitization of the agency's operations to ensure transparency and quick service delivery, and transformation of the survey, inspection, and certification systems for effectiveness and efficiency.
2 is the environment, security, and search and rescue initiative. Pillar number 3 is capacity building and promotion initiatives, what we call CPI. 4 is structural and cultural reform of NIMASA. These 5 pillars are the things that constitute the medium-term plan of NIMASA.
He warned pirates to desist from their nefarious activities, as the reformed NIMASA will make the territorial waters uncomfortable for them.
The other thing is to strengthen response capabilities, and finally, the issue of prosecution of criminals or pirates on our waterways. And to do that, we intend to put in place a new framework through the instrumentality of an anti-piracy bill.
The NIMASA DG stated that the results of the reforms will reflect in the scheme of things in the next few months. In Lagos, Jane Uju.
100 youths of Ajegunle Jeromi Felodu local government area of Lagos State are the first set of beneficiaries of a one-year intensive training program for skills acquisition for community youth in Nigeria. It was organized by the Center for Values and Leadership in collaboration with some financial institutions. The graduation ceremony and presentation of startup kits to participants took place in Lagos. Tunde Saiki reports.
The Young Entrepreneurship Business Training Program, organized by the Center for Values and Leadership, is aimed at reducing youth unemployment in communities through capacity building in entrepreneurship, provision of business mentoring, and distribution of startup kits and grants. The Chief Executive Officer, Center for Values and Leadership, Professor Pat Utomi, said the choice of Ajegunle for the pilot scheme is born out of the fact that the community has a lot of untapped talents that needed just mentorship and brief assistance.
We needed to bring into a community like this to enable us and empower young people to stop being a burden, start creating opportunities for even other people.
One of the partners in the program described the initiative as laudable.
Entrepreneurs who want to start a business, providing financial support and business support for them so that they can employ themselves and not employ one or two persons.
Some of the beneficiaries said the training they received within the period have further exposed them to running a successful business.
I will be able to launch myself into business properly and be able to do things the way business should be done.
I appreciate CVL for this particular program.
The 100 beneficiaries are trained in hairdressing, fashion designing, metal fabrication, automobile and generator repairs. Others trained in the art of bead making, shoe making, and closed-circuit television operators. In Lagos, Tunde Saiki, NTA News.
Now, members of the bar, the bench, and all Nigerians have been urged to support the fight against corruption by President Muhammadu Buhari. This call was made at a lecture organized by members of the bar to sensitize the general public on the relevance of the fight against corruption to the nation's growth and development. Nosa Osula completes the report.
The judiciary is commonly and rightly referred to as the last hope of the common man. There is no doubt that corruption is the biggest and most embarrassing challenge facing Nigeria today. It is indeed a serious threat on our economic and democratic development. According to Chairman of the Nigerian Bar Association Shagabu Branch, Debo Uduguwa, the judiciary can only act as the last hope of the common man, where it is independent, well-funded, courageous, unbiased, and proactive.
The magnitude of corruption that we are witnessing in the country has never ever happened in this country.
Tolerance for it. We shouldn't, because it's the bane of our society. That's what's responsible majorly for the problems in our country.
The Vice President of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, has said that the fight against corruption is no doubt a collective one, and all hands must indeed be on deck in order to ensure a corrupt-free Nigeria. In Lagos, Nosa Osula, NTA News.
Those are top stories at this hour from Lagos. It's back to Femi in Abuja for more on nationwide news. Femi, over to you.
Thank you, Jennifer. And the federal government has declared Tuesday 5th and Wednesday 6th of July 2016 as public holiday to mark Eid al-Fitr celebration. A statement by the Minister of Interior enjoined Muslim faithfuls and Nigerians to extend the spiritual benefits of Ramadan, which are love, peace, and justice, to their daily living, and through this contribute to the development of the nation. He has urged Nigerians to use the opportunity of the spiritual rejuvenation to reflect on the imperative of unity and peaceful coexistence in strengthening the bond of togetherness for a strong and virile nation. The Nigerian Army has released checks to 152 next of kin of the officers and soldiers who died in the line of duty. Defense correspondent Mohammed Abdulkadri reports.
The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, advised families of the fallen personnel to make judicious use of the money. Chief of Administration, Nigerian Army, said the release of checks to the beneficiaries are in phases and will not be delayed.
The Nigerian Army is committed to the welfare of all its personnel, serving, retired, and deceased. The military leadership is doing all it can within its power to ensure that benefits are paid promptly. Be sure that benefit processing are started with the presence of the next of kin.
Some beneficiaries bared their minds.
In fact, I'm so excited. I just want to say a very big thank you to the Nigerian Army. They've done what I never expected.
My plan for now is, well, to complete his building, his house, and to take care of my younger brothers and sisters.
Families yet to document children of school age for the Army scholarship for the next of kin are told to do so. In Abuja, Muhammad Abdelkadir, NTA News.
The investment of the Nigerian Air Force over the provision of modern medical equipment to the 47 NAF hospital in Yola has started reflecting on its services. This followed the successful delivery of triplets, the first in all its hospitals across the nation. Abuja. The Christian Media Fellowship Practitioners of Nigeria made the appeal when they paid a visit to the new Kuchingoro internally displaced persons camp with relief materials in Abuja. Lydia Basri reports that the visit, which is their second, was led by the President, Pastor Emmanuel Zachary.
Today's Ibrahim and Yakubu James, both accident victims, are inhabitants of the new Kuchigoro IDP camp and in urgent need of medical attention, which is not readily available, though the chairman of the IDP camp, Philemon Emmanuel, was full of gratitude at the kind gesture of the Christian Media Fellowship practitioners.
I told them, we're not only in IDPs, we have a better plan again. We'll be going to prison fellowship. There are people in prison that need this also. We tax ourselves. To bring you something to eat. Something that you can really. So that your small children can eat. God is simply telling us that there is hope and He's having a plan and program for our life.
Taking a tour around the camp, it was clear that the inhabitants are in dire need of a better life.
The God that touched their heart to help us here, He is the one who is going to bless them.
The inhabitants of New Kuchigoro camp live life every day as it comes, and they have come to terms with the harsh realities of life. From the IDP camp, Kuchigoro, Lydia Bassi, NTA News.
And up next on Nationwide is our Bini Network Center, where Agatha is already standing by with details of stories making headlines from that zone. Hello, Agatha. It's over to you.
Good to see you too, Femi. Good evening and many thanks for joining us in Benin. Militants in the Niger Delta region have been urged to give the federal government time to address the deprivation in the region. Governor Adams Ushomole says President Muhammadu Buhari is committed to addressing their grievances. He made the call when members of the communities of the Nigerian oil and gas producing areas visited him. The report.
Worried by the resurgence of militants in the Niger Delta region and the negative effects of their action on the environment and the worsening economic situation, leaders of the host communities say they are hopeful that Governor Shomole can mediate in the crisis.
Having a government that is dynamic, government that is creative, who can diffuse positive innovation that will be well accepted by the boys, by the men and the women of the Niger Delta.
Governor Shomole, who sued for continued peace in the region, urged oil companies to also play by the rules and keep to international best practices to stop oil spillage and consequent pollution of the environment. He emphasized that though it takes time to address challenges in the region after years of neglect, President Muhammadu Buhari will get the job done.
Obviously, what was undermined in 60 years could not have been fixed in 1 year. It's common sense and it's a practical issue.
What President Buhari needs at this time, which the South should provide him, is to challenge him with an enabling environment, namely peace and security in our area, and challenge him to deliver on fairness and justice.
And the Ondo State Command of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, says it has arrested 66 persons for various drug-related offenses in the state between January and May this year. The state commander of the agency, Mr. Mohammed Malami Sokoto, disclosed this in Akure while speaking with newsmen on this year's International Day Against Drug Abuse and Illicit Trafficking. Olubumioke reports.
This year's celebration as its theme, "Just Listen." Mr. Sokoto said the import of the theme is to underscore the importance of drug abuse prevention and the sustainable war against drug abuse and trafficking in the society. According to him, the suspects include 55 males and 11 females, noting that 22 out of the suspects have been charged to court and convicted to various jail terms during the period under review.
The command has now developed a more proactive interdiction strategy by using the motorized patrol operation.
The commander stressed that the agency has also seized cannabis sativa, also known as India hemp, weighing 1,348.62 kgs within the period. The NDLEA boss said the command has no fewer than 23 people under counseling and 7 have been rehabilitated. In Akure, Olubumi, okay, NTA News.
And that's it from Benin. Femi, it's back to you for the rest of News Nationwide. Good evening.
Thank you, Agatha. You are still on to NTA Nationwide on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. We pause now for some messages. Stay tuned.
If you hear a bomb explosion or gunshots of an active shooter, that might be a terror attack. At such times, always remember 3 action words: run, hide, report. Don't try to run towards the terror scene to save the situation, because there might be a second bomb blast or another attack. Run far away and take cover. Make sure you are safe first. Yes, it is in our nature to sympathize over the hurt, but remember, only trained personnel can help in such situations. When in a secured environment, promptly call relevant authorities and help will come. For anonymous reporting, call 09630-3250-5 or 0813-2222-106. If you see something, say something. Nigeria unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
Always, we have lived together as brothers and sisters since long time in Muriva, without no mind that we have spoken different languages and celebration our cultural and diversity. No bombing, no cultism, no kidnapping. Nowadays, our children are trampoline to cultists. Today, we are suspicion one another. All this notorious behavior have scattered all over Nigeria. When are you going to change? More. When are you going to stop? Terrorism are unwanted visitors. Kidnapping are criminal. Cultism are barbaric. Do not destroy this country, oh. Our country, Nigeria, are blessed, oh. Are you see what I'm saying? Support Nigerian police force in their civil war against terror, kidnapping and cultism. Report any bad move around you. See and does not talk, I kill old age. And to hear and does not behavior, I kill small pikin. All of us have the duty of building Nigeria free of crime. That are our dream.
This message is from the Nigeria Police Force.
Thank you for staying tuned, and this is NTA Nationwide. The Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission says it is poised to reposition the commission for it to have better impact on the society. Executive Secretary of the Commission stated this when he received the General Overseer of Deeper Life Bible Church in Abuja. Uchenwezu was there.
Reverend Tor Ojal said the collective efforts of all religious leaders are crucial in repositioning the Commission. He advocated a roadmap for pilgrimage to move away from mere sightseeing to rekindle the fire of revival. Reverend Oja said the development will make pilgrims agents of change in society.
We believe NCPC has the capacity to make a newness out of Nigeria, that all the issues that we are crying about, they can disappear.
For the General Overseer of Deeper Life Bible Church, Pastor William Kumuyi, there is light at the end of the tunnel for Nigeria.
Could I believe that the government is focused and they know what they're doing and the change they campaigned about, they still have that change in mind, and I believe we'll soon see the change.
The Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission, which was established by the federal government, now has the mandate to manage its affairs. Uchenwezu, NTA News.
Governor Lalong flags up distribution of subsidized fertilizers for 2016 farming season. Let's get the details of this and other reports from Just Network Center, where Femi Chit is standing by. Over to you, Femi Chit.
Hello and welcome to Jos. Governor Simon Lalong has called on youths in the state to key into the agricultural policies of the state government to enable them earn a living. The governor made the call when he flagged off sales of subsidized fertilizers for the 2016 farming season at Bokos Central Playground.
Agriculture being the third on the policy thrust of the present administration, the governor said will continue to be a priority sector to his administration. The governor, who charged the Ministry of Agriculture to ensure that the fertilizer gets to small-scale farmers, who are the main target of the subsidy, noted that one major challenge to farmers is lack of access to fertilizer.
As it presents itself as a key area of our comparative advantage with great opportunities for all. In our effort to actualize this trust within 1 year in the office, the government has put in certain structures that will create an enabling environment for a private sector-driven agricultural development.
Commissioner for Agriculture, Linda Barrow, said as part of efforts to boost agriculture, the state government has keyed into the Commercial Agriculture Credit Scheme and the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Fund. She also emphasized the need for government to train extension workers who will monitor and evaluate the dismal performance of farming in the recent past. Management Committee Chairman, Bokos Local Government Council, Luka Makut, said the choice of Bokos is a testament to the fact that the area is the food basket of Plateau State. The event was climaxed by the sales of the commodity to registered farmers at 4,000 naira per bag. Ben Mitu, NTA News.
Director General, National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, Brigadier General Suleiman Kazauri, has dismissed the rumor of scrapping NYSC scheme in Nigeria. The NYSC boss stated this while addressing corps members at NYSC Orientation Camp, Welo in Bauchi State. Bulak Afsa reports.
Addressing the corps members, the Director General of NYSC, Brigadier General Suleiman Kazauri, urged them to utilize the skill acquisition program provided in the camp. This, he says, will make them self-reliant and employer of labor after their service year.
We are in a trying moment. Our country is in a trying moment. You know our economic situation. You know how long it takes us to be in the camp. All we are talking, we are saying this. The problem is, please, we are not doing very well. So we have to join our hands together as the leaders of the future leaders.
Bauchi State NYSC Coordinator Alhaji Musa Abubakar told the Director General that NYSC scheme is receiving all the necessary support from the Bauchi State government. The Director General had earlier inspected some facilities at the camp. Cultural performance by the corps members featured during the visit of the Director General. in Bauchi. Bulakafsa, NTA News.
And it's a wrap from this end. Femi, it's back to you for more news.
Thank you, Femi Chit. The Minister of Health, Professor Isaac Adewale, says 100 million Nigerians are to benefit from the new Rapid Results Initiative of the federal government across 10,000 primary healthcare centers in the country. The minister stated this in NTA's Good Morning Nigeria. Correspondent Abdul Malik Adio monitored the program.
The minister says the Rapid Results Initiative is an operational tool designed to help save and protect lives in 6 major thematic areas to alleviate the suffering of Nigerians through effective, affordable and efficient healthcare delivery system in the country, targeting rural areas.
Is to critically make functional the primary health care, and we said in the first 100 days, can we make 109 PACs functional? We recognize the need to expand the scope, the depth and breadth of the insurance scheme, and we said we'll start with 30, clustered around each of the PACs.
NTA News.
And time now to join Ngozi in our Enugu Network Center for more on Nationwide. Over to you.
Thank you, Femi, and it's good to have you join us. Some notable Nigerians have been honored for outstanding performance in the different fields of endeavor. The recognition was accorded to them by the Anglican Bishop of Enugu, Most Reverend Emmanuel Chukwuma.
Are the former Inspector General of Police, Solomon Arase, and Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi of Enugu State. Other individuals honored include Ebonyi State Governor David Umahi and Governor Willie Obiano of Anambra State. The Archbishop, Ecclesiastical Province of Enugu, and Bishop of Enugu Anglican Communion said the awardees were recognized based on their good track records and achievements so far in their states. He urged the federal government not to be selective and sectional in the fight against corruption.
Let us face governance that will bring good relationship, success to the people of Enugu State, Southeast, and to Nigeria.
Praises, worship songs, and prayers were rendered unto God for peace and harmony in the country. In Enugu, Chika Ugu, NTA News.
Nigerians have been encouraged to buy made in Nigerian products which are of higher quality and standard than imported products. In this report, Chinenye Nwoye takes a look at some of the fake and substandard products and the need to patronize made in Nigeria goods.
Has shown that about 99% of fake and substandard products sold in Nigerian markets are mostly those imported from other countries. These substandard products, which are mostly electrical appliances such as electric bulbs, lamp holders, electric cables, batteries, adapters, stabilizers, and others, such as tires and gas cylinders, are disasters like fire outbreak and road accidents waiting to happen. However, some unsuspecting members of the public patronize these fake products on a regular basis.
In terms of cables, Nigeria used to produce cables, and I believe that our cable is more superior than the ones that have been imported.
Some stakeholders in the manufacturing and industrial sector, however, say patronizing made in Nigerian products not only leads to job creation, but also enhances the economy of the country.
Products made in Nigeria, it is rare, extremely rare, to have products that are fake, because the manufacturers are by your side. You can easily go to them to verify.
It's the more reason we need to patronize made in Nigerian products and encourage the production of standard quality goods.
The Standards Organization of Nigeria, however, say it has declared total war on the sale of fake and substandard products through a regular monitoring and raid of markets to rid them of these products. Members of the public have also been advised to look out for the expiry date on products, certification mark of the regulatory bodies, and make complaints to the organizations and manufacturers in case of substandard products. In Enugu, Chinenye Nwoye, NTA News.
Those are stories from this end. Back to you, Femi.
Thank you, Ngozi. And now to Global TDs, where Kenya radio and television stations are to close for digital restructuring. Let's join Talatu Ezerike for this, plus other stories.
The race for the next Conservative Party leader and UK Prime Minister gets tougher, with surprises as ex-London Mayor Boris Johnson stepped down for his main supporter, Michael Gove, who is Justice Secretary. The country's Home Secretary, Theresa May, is also in the race. But who might win? From Turkey, police conducted raids in 60 locations, rounding up 13 persons alleged to be involved with Tuesday's deadly airport attack. The suspects are nationals and foreigners that include a Russian. Similarly, attack on Afghanistan police convoy killed at least 30 people with more than 50 wounded. In Kenya, the country's lower society are demanding the whereabouts of lawyer Willie Kimani, whom they suspect was abducted by rotten elements within the police. This comes as the nation's media group, the largest media company in East Africa, announced intention to close some flagship stations for transformation into a model 21st century digital content company. That is all on Global Tidbits. Talati Ezorike, NTA News.
Set for Sudan Challenge as Michael Phelps makes 5th Olympic team. Details of these and more on Sports Update with Fisayo Ogunfuyi.
Flying Eagles coach Emmanuel Amuneke says he's trying to build a formidable team that can help the nation challenge for titles when they graduate to the senior cadre. The former African Footballer of the Year is preparing his team for the African Youth Championship qualifier against Sudan next week in Khartoum.
We are human beings, we are a team that is young, we are a team that is growing, we are a team that we want to do what is right. And hopefully we continue to learn. Of course, pressure, nothing comes easy in life.
Welsh winger Gareth Bale says his team will play without fear when they face Belgium in the quarter-final of the ongoing Euro 2016 Championship on Friday. The Real Madrid star is one of the top stars of the competition so far, with 3 goals in 4 games.
We have our own game plan, we have our own identity, and as I said, we're going to come out and try and enjoy the game and try to play as good football as we can.
Michael Phelps, the most decorated Olympian of all time, has qualified for his 5th Olympic Games after winning the US 200 meters butterfly trials. The 18-time gold medalist is the first American male swimmer to make 5 Olympic teams. With Sports Update, Fisayo Ogunfuyi, NTA News.
And that's it on NTA Nationwide. We thank you for joining us. My name is Femi Johnson. Do join us for more reports that will be coming your way in our subsequent bulletin. Good afternoon.